Okay, I believe this is recording. So I wanted to share this. I just started spinning on this Turkish spindle. It was the first time that I've put any serious amount of time into any kind of spindle work. And I'm not going to go into all of the how-tos. I'm still learning that myself. But what I am going to share, I'm going to go ahead and take this off. So let's see. When I first started this, let's go like that. I kept trying to wind it on here, and I kept getting breakage and the whole dropping the spindle thing, which I've already seen a lot of memes and jokes about. I didn't 100% get it. I was just like, okay, but yeah, so your fibers, it's like way too thin, it's not holding. And I was a little bit frustrated. I want to make sure that, excuse me, that I'm in the shot here that you can see this. So I'm going to set this aside because that's not what I'm going to be working with. So I was really frustrated and I was like, why can I not get this? I can't get the spindle to spin enough to create the yarn to make a leader, which is what, the length of yarn is called that you start your spinning with. And the only frame of reference that I had was spinning with my wheel, which is right here. And I was like, I've never really had any problems with my yarn breaking unless I've overdrafted it, like pulled it too thin then. But getting it started, I've not really had an issue. What I have on my spinning wheel is like twine, and that's like a starter. And I use that as my lead. And then I started thinking about how I spin on my wheel, and I said, well, I take this and I wind it up around like this, and then there's my yarn, it's not breaking, right? And I was like, and I tie that bit to my twine on my bobbin on my wheel, and then I just start spinning. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't have that with the spindle, you just have that stick. And so I thought, I was trying to handle the spindle and all of that all at the same time, and I couldn't do it. And so I was like, okay, put that spindle down. And to create your yarn, which most people I'm sure knows, you just do this. I kind of fudged it up here. If you don't have a stopper, it'll just the rotation will just keep going in, and it'll do like I just did for a second there. So I've got to pinch that. But what my problem was is I would do this and then let it go to try to tie it onto the spindle, and then it was too thin because it would instantly unwind. So I was like, you know what? That yarn sets on the bobbin on my wheel. Once it's spun, it just winds up into the bobbin and sets, and that's why it doesn't unbind. And so I was like, I just need to pull out enough, and you kind of just have to keep going over that bit there, and you'll just keep going over it and then wind it up, and then I draft a little bit, and then I have to undo it so that I can let some of this go and start winding it up. And it's a bit of a process, but it saved me a lot of frustration. And I'm sure there are much simpler ways, but I haven't run across them yet. I could just tie some twine on to my Turkish spindle, I'm sure, and do the same thing. But I, for whatever reasons, just really didn't want to have twine mixed up in this. I just wanted it to be all fiber. So, so yeah, and it's a little thick and thin, but you only need enough to start winding it around to hold on the bottom of the Turkish spindle or your drop spindle, whichever kind of spindle you're using. And then draft a little bit and then let it out. And when you do that, the spin will go down and create more yarn. And at this point, by doing it over and over again, this top part will start to be more solid. And I'm not going to belabor this whole thing. And I just kind of hold it because there's not enough here that it's going to get super tangled up in itself. And then just keep doing that. And so once I had about this much, I went ahead, here, let me hold that. And we'll just pretend that this doesn't have any on it. I went ahead and just held it. And if you have a little crevice here, I hope you can see, you can just wrap it around like that. And then over the two, under one, over the two. Well, it's a little under one. But anyways, you get the idea. And I just kept doing that. And then I had it on there. And then once I had enough, then, you do your little wind. And there are other instruction videos. I'm not trying to be a hardcore teacher, but I did decide that I wanted to share little epiphanies and how I do things, just in case there's somebody out there that is thinking the same things I'm thinking as I'm going through this. I thought, it can't be this hard, and it's not. It's just a little fumbly because it's a new process. So, anyways, that's how I do that, and I'm gonna just take this off because once I get back to doing this, and this probably isn't the best way. I know that there's a once I get it spinning though, it should be fine. So yeah, and I got that on there. So anyways, that was just my aha moment. I was just like, take it, don't even do this, just, create your own little thread length or yarn length. But I was happy with that. I just wanted to share. Thanks.